Hello and welcome back, round 8, Silverstone. The classic track has been updated not too long ago. Actually quite like the new layout, I have to say. And we're here into Q3. I went actually out earlier. I was planning to do 2 runs since I figured I would need them. And here of course we're on the first lap that I did. Going to the tricky first section, the section where I usually am like 3/10 slower than the IA class during practice, and qualifying as well I tend to lose there a little bit. I can go equal if I don't mess it up too badly, but I have some trouble getting there smoothly. This section is a lot better. I go quite wide here, but keep it steady, don't let the car slide out, going off the line there, onto the old straight. Into 7th, just about. Fully committed into 7th. Using a bit of curse to get some acceleration going again, slightly there. This is a tap, down to 5th, I get some Beckett's, very quick section there. Onto the back straight. And another DRS zone here. No time set, so everything sector time is purple, obviously. It's actually sunny conditions. Practice was not so sunny, and sun works well with the Lotus, so I'm not confident I could go up pretty high on the grid. There you go. So far, provisional pole position, 1.3 seconds quicker than Raikkonen there. And so far, I seemingly survived the first wave. And before we show the results, I'm going to show you what happens in another run. Here we go. This is the last run I tried to do. Current fastest time still stands. There comes the Red Bull of Weber and just flops right to the racing line. Messes up my braking. And that's the session over for me. Wonder if I actually bother to go back to the pit. I don't think I will. Nope, I just like, alright, never mind. Lap is screwed, there's not enough time to do it again. Poop. There you go. Or didn't want to do it again.
Pole position, fantastic drive, well done.
Thank you very much. Pole position in the end. Some 2/10s ahead of Lewis Hamilton, then 3rd Sebastian Vettel, Nico Rosberg in 4th, Fernando Alonso 5th, Felipe Massa in 6th, and Mark Webber, Kimi Jensen, and Nico Hülkenberg. And that will round up your top 10. So, yes, we're actually a bit more of a margin than I expected to, and here you will see my slightly updated helmet, finally, with the Lotus Renault sponsors on there. And a little Rosberg thingy going on there on the side as well. I kind of like that, so incorporated that. Also put the number 4 on the back of the helmet, the number 4 being the result of the Fangio GP Pro League, where I finished 4th, so there you go. That's when also the V and the 1 is supposed to be like also before. So here we go, getting ready to getting strapped into the racing seat, fixing up my strategy first. I know tire wear is pretty bad, so I'm going for a more or less safety stop. The AI, if I tend to go or stop sooner than the AI, I think I'm gonna get ahead of them. Sheesh. And that's my idea, and then stay out with primes, keep them behind me by any means necessary. And then I pit earlier again than any of them would or should probably. And hopefully come out ahead again and probably bring back home with the victory. At least that is the plan. Of course, who knows if it works out. So here you go, see the rest of the grid. It's Perez in 11th, Sutil 12, De Resta 13, Maldonado 14, Gutierrez, Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas in 17, then Jean-Eric Vergne, Jules Bianchi, Charles Pic, Guido van der Garde, Max Chilton, and that is your grid. Actually, I forgot these are the practice. Practice was actually in the wet, though I broke it off sooner, so it was actually dry at the end screen, but I still won the best session time. So here you see the Q1 time, so the 1:32.5, of course, prime tires. In Q2, I actually used the same set that I used in the Q1, so I had as many clean sets of prime tires as possible for the race. which is of course more than ideal. But there you go. This plan of mine at least hinges on me being the first through the first couple of corners. And we'll see if I can get off the line decently enough. Emphasis on decently. Because I usually am not a great starter. But there you go. With the Renault stamp and the Lotus F1 is sort of fades out with the thingy there. Lotus sticker above the visor. Going to lean mix, it helps me a little bit in starting to keep the wheel spin down on the initial launch, so something that works for me. Good boost launch. Not so smoothly in second. Hamilton on the right, he slows down for the corner. I can't keep more speed and I'm out ahead of everybody. Alonso slips through into second place. And Vettel seems to hold on to third for the moment. Hamilton's right beside him, you can see in the mirrors. There you go, he's got the inside and Vettel is now securely in third. So far, so good. I'm in first place, going into sector 2. And Alonso seems intent on closing the gap quite quickly. 1.4 seconds. So I already broke the DRS. And see if I can translate that 2/10 advantage in the race as well. There is no rain projected for the race, but it did spell cloudy, which could be a disadvantage for me since the Lotus tends to be pretty shit when it's cold. So I'm quite happy and hoping to sort of pull an advantage while the sun is still out. I'm also hoping the tyre will be able to be kept in check. 1.4 is the gap still. So using the sector where I'm the quickest, they can equal my speed. So that's slightly discouraging. Keeping a bit cautious here. Of course the car is full on fuel, 52 laps to go. And now one less. There you go, 1.2 seconds is the gap. Alonso already starting to creep by. And with my speed through that first sector, he's probably going to be right over me. It's this corner where they have a lot more speed than I do. Especially on the exit. Someone lost the entry, but lost the exit again. I think there's so much better acceleration than me. That one. Do my gearing, there you go. He gained another 2/10 there. Go a bit wide. Be a bit gentle to keep the power down, which keeps Alonso close. Massa is in third. Go a little bit wide on the exit for no reason at all. Go to high mix, and Maggots and Beckett's, and a subsequent back straight. But of course started on a cautious fuel this time around. Still closes in the gap, it's only 8/10, so can't seem to pull an advantage. From Alonso, that's a bit of a shame. So it seems I'm going to be stuck with him for the first stint, which meaning I'm going to have to rely on my strategy to bring in the victory, because it seems the competition has the pace over me today. Gain a 10th though, but from that DRS is activated. He's within the zone and coming into the section with the first DRS zone, in which of course where they are quicker than me, as I said before. They'll pull to me easily, so I have to use my curse to defend. Usually I only use about 100 curse here. I use a bit more on that little on the exit over there. But now I use half of my curse here and the other half on the other DRS straight. Focusing on having as smooth as exit as possible. Go to rich mix. Alonso has a lot of cornering grip there. It's very, very easy to stay with me there. It's not something I'm happy about. Then the fourth. There he goes, a little bit in red exit. I should have pulled a little bit of a gap. 8-10, he's still too close for comfort. Because, yeah, it doesn't seem like I will be able to shake him. Of course, what I want is for him to pull enough of a gap to have him outside the DRS zone. Which should give me a bit more breathing there. I really barged it over the curbs there. Did not even get so much as a warning. So, let's go a little bit further ahead to see where battle stands, to see if we can pull a gap. About a few seconds there. There we go. Into the corner again, braking hard. And here we are. Lap 9. And I've formed a small train behind me now, as you can see. Massa has caught up, Lewis Hamilton has caught up, and behind that I think it's Sebastian Vettel. Vettel has been a little bit
We're ready for you.
rowdy. So there you go, that was that. Lap 12. The pack is still close together, so nothing much happened. I was able to defend with proper curse usage and getting good exits. But this time I am pitting a few laps earlier than everybody else. Hopefully that fresher tires will able to should give me enough time to stay to come back out ahead of these guys. So especially when these guys are so close, going in at the same time is always very high risk, since the player itself seems to be able low priority in terms of pit release. So this is another reason why I went for this strategy. So there you go, another big pack coming, where Raikkonen is at the back of that pack. They're all gonna pass me.
Stay clear of the white line.
Hopefully I can stay out of slightly above that other guy who's coming in. This is Hulkenberg. There you go, come out in 9th. So that's not bad, considering how much I pulled away from the guys to stay in the top 10 there. And only 12 laps, so the pace is still pretty good to be more or less competitive, but I wasn't as quick in the opening stint as I hoped I would be. Now we got a bit of clean air to get the tires all dialed in. Slowly a bit more clouds starting to form up, so it seems the track is gonna drop in temperature. Should be a disadvantage for me. Megas and Beckett's going in 7th now, already feeling a lot more grip. These, of course, brand new set of tires. There you go, 1.3 seconds. I want to go past these guys as quickly as possible, so I have to make the most out of these tires while I still can. See if you can pull a bit more of a gap compared to Alonso, who's now of course leading the Grand Prix. Brake. Grip, moving off the line. Even on good tires, they still have an exit that's just as good as mine, and even slightly have me on acceleration there. So maybe we can optimize the gearing a bit more. Bit rough, forcing more away on the inside of Rosberg there. And then I have a very good exit over here. Ready to charge Mark Webber. Take the inside line. And 14 behind me, so I'm up to 6th place. So I'm doing well, not losing too much time behind these guys. Perez is up next. Not sure where left his teammate, and still actually set a purple sector. Which is Nice. Good sign that I'm doing well. Go a bit wide there. A bit late, but keep enough room on the first one. Squeezing a little bit on the second one. And that's an overtake done. Back into P5. Lap 15. These guys expected them to stop in lap 15, 16. So I hope that's all going to work out for me. Go into that tricky first section again. Go off the line and we're very slippery. More clouds are forming, so track is gonna cool down, which is not nice for me. "19 seconds is Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel is of course part of that leading pack. Now probably entering that Megaton Beckett's sector. Alonso seems to have pulled away a little bit of those other guys now that he's been released from me. But I am setting faster lap times, and of course I don't know how much faster or slower I am compared to him. So the only thing I can do is push as hard as I can. There you go. A little bit later on, lap 16 now. Instead of purple sector there. And they're all pitting now, so they're in the pit lane. A lap later than I, a little bit expected, so here I am. Bam. 136.4. They are back into first place. Back in second, and Sebastian Vettel is now in third place after these pit stops. Now see how much of a gap I was able to pull. 3 seconds, so there you go. So far the strategy seems to be working. Charles Peak goes out of the way, it's no problem. But this is the tricky part of the race. Or getting into the tricky part, I should say, with the track temperatures starting to drop. The Lotus starts to struggle a bit more on grip. Especially when I start reaching a little bit more mess. And so far doing well, half a second off. 3.2. Alonso is already sticking with me, so we're matching pace. Means I'm anything but off the hook. So far, it's the fastest lap time of the race at 1:35.930. 3.2 seconds is still the gap. And then I brake too late, go wide, and the 3 seconds that I had are now gone.
Picked up some marbles. Keep to the racing line and wear them off.
It was a not too big a mistake, but it still hurts quite a bit considering the issues I'm expecting to have with the speed of the car. There you go, lost 7 tenths there, and even a bit more than that. 1.9 seconds is the gap. Alonso smells blood by the looks of it. Touch the grass there, losing a bit of focus here. So this is not a very good lap so far. A lot of times touching the grass and everything. And we go down to third here to keep the car on the track, so the grip is starting to fall away from me a little bit, even though I'm only a couple of laps into my stint. 1.7 seconds. See, even with the loss of grip, I just can't attack Megas and Beckett's the way I'd like to, ending up that I'm actually going slower than that. Even that corner in fourth is a problem as soon as I've done a few laps. there you go, Alonso is already appearing into my mirrors. 1 second is the gap, he's already caught up, and he will surely be in my DRS zone in this sector already. So there you go, he's puts in the fly. I go a little bit wide again, lose the back end again, just to make it even harder on myself. And it's back to the same race I was having before. Basically having to defend from Alonso. Got so much more speed. Oh, this gets very messy. We're both struggling for grip and we both went offline. Well, I lost the car, pushed Alonso wide. That was incredibly messy. I'm surprised I didn't get so much of a warning for that whole thing, and Alonso has got some minor damage out of that. So yeah, wasn't quite in control of the car, was also trying aggressive, trying to hold back that place. So if anything, that's the most questionable moment in this race, at least move that I did. But the game allowed it. And he's back behind me again. That little moment shows that the other cars are so much quicker now than me. Can push a lot better. I mean, Raikkonen probably had the same issues as me. A car that's not so nice in cooler conditions. And this game is always a little bit less than subtle about it. So there you go. Focusing on the entry, trying to get a smooth exit. And there you go, starting to use the curves for defense again. All I have to do is a short straight. So the boost to curves should be more than enough to keep him behind me. Go a little bit wide. Able to cut back before Alonso can think about moving in. I actually use curves when I probably shouldn't. Should probably do that for the back straight, but I know that if I can get a good exit on the straight, keep him behind me. And so far I'm doing well. It's now Vettel who's behind me. I go a bit off the track. Scared a little bit by going the other side. Well, he rams into me. Upsets the car and Alonso sneaks back by, so that was a bit weird move from Sebastian there. We're now on lap 23. Go to high mix on the defense. Can match the top speed of the Ferrari, it seems. And Alonso just smashed into me again, giving himself even more wing damage. And he seems to be hurting quite a bit because there's immediately a 1.4 second gap. So he is gonna have some troubles turning in the car now. Vettel's past him, and within the space of 2 corners he's already in my gearbox again. So shows you how poorly this Lotus is doing at the moment. Looking at my fuel status, already on optimal, so I can't really use high mix to defend. I have to just focus on my own. Ooh, that's not right. Maybe use a jolt of curse. Trying to scare Vettel behind me. Seems to work out, but I am not having fun in this car at the moment. To do everything I can to keep those guys behind me. If I wanted to keep my hopes for a win alive. So we're gonna move ahead a little bit more. Lap 26 now, and Massa has in the pace at the moment. 1:34.775. Hamilton has also caught up now to Sebastian Vettel, and Alonso seems to be out of the picture for the moment. I don't know actually how far he dropped back, but we'll see in the results how far he's gone. going a bit wide. That's it. Not enough room for Sebastian. Right on me, not enough room to do anything. I just attack the curves as much as I can, as much as the tyres will allow me. It's really hit and miss with this car at the moment. Sometimes it gives me the grip and sometimes it doesn't seem like it wants to. There, get a good exit. An exit that I need and want to keep those guys behind me. So moving on, lap 27. Start of it, so we've got to have lap, and there's Maldonado slowing down quite a lot there. And it seems a Ferrari has caught up. Now I can't remember if that's Massa. Alonso, by the looks of the wing, it's probably Massa. The wing looks complete. So there you go, Maldonado making it a bit dangerous. Lap 31. The lap before my pit stop. Vettel is still right behind me. Hamilton is a bit further back, 1.8 seconds. Turned out he was on the option tires. And if you look at the mini map, you see that Hamilton just dove into the pit lane. One lap before me, so I need to push as much as I can, hoping that Hamilton is going to be hauled up a little bit if I want to stay out ahead of him. So he's going to the primes, of course. So he went option prime. Vettel is on the prime tires like me, so he's going option prime option, and I'm going option prime prime, trying to complete for the high tire and trying to do an earlier pit stop in order to get myself out ahead of the other guys in case I lacked the pace. Go a little bit wide. Carry enough speed though. So not give Vettel an opportunity to sneak by. And we're going to Megats and Beckets. Going nice and smoothly. Get a decent enough exit.
Don't forget, pit in this
Vettel
lap.
means sorry, still close enough for DRS, but with the jolt of curves I got enough top speed. Front left is already pretty gone, so 20 laps is just about right. Take a bit of grass with me into the pit box, doesn't matter anymore. I made it, so now it's always again a very slow drive, little bit of an anxious drive, since I was not sure if it's enough to keep Hamilton behind me.
Release.
And with the weather state like this, cloudy, that is, I would have lacked the pace. So Perez now in third. I think he's coming onto the straight now. I'm going to lose position to him, going to standard mix. No time to relax. Rosberg in fourth. He also makes it past Hamilton in fifth. There he is, right in the mirror, left side, on the right. And I made it just ahead of him. So there you go. Succeeded in keeping Hamilton behind me. Now of course I have to push to gain enough time to make sure I jump Sebastian Vettel with ease after the pit stops. Of course these fresh new tyres felt amazing. The car was very responsive now, of course, in these final stages. Finally can take this flat out in the sixth pretty much. You can now push ahead and grab the win, and actually managed to pull away from Hamilton a little bit, which is very good news for me. They got the pace on him on the prime tyres. The DRS have a very good exit. Rosberg got a poor exit, and even then with top speed I just about get beside him, and of course I got the inside line, nothing he could do. He has to let it go, and I already gained third position again. Now, next up, Sergio Perez. If I can clear him quickly enough, I'm in free air. I can push. I'm already gonna go for it. Next to him, next to him, next to him, side by side. Got the inside line again, keep space on the left side for him. He's behind him, and I shut him down, and I'm into second place. That's a very long pit lane here. I think it's somewhere between 22 and 25 seconds. And I smashed the DRS sign there, just for good measure. So Vettel, come on, I'm pushing, I'm coming for you. 22 seconds, 22.5 is the gap to Sebastian Vettel. These are the laps I need to push him when the tires are at their best. And they still can give me the grip that I so desperately want. It's not quite seem to have all the time. Just decide to shift down there quickly. Got the grip through this sector though quite nicely. Can cut the corners exactly the way I wanted to. Pretty much exactly the way I want. 21 seconds, so gained almost a second to Sebastian.
So he doesn't get a chance to overtake.
There you go, already cutting into the time. Of course, not my goal to reach Sebastian Vettel before he pits, because he will pit not too long ago from now either. So lap 35, set a purple lap time straight away, 1:34.652. We're going to see where we're going to jump to next.
Fastest lap of the race. Keep that up.
Later on, lap 35. Bam, second faster, 1:33.538. Now the fastest lap. Sebastian Vettel is only 18 seconds ahead of me now, so I'm pretty sure I have more than enough to pass him when he pits, which means I've succeeded. Hamilton has not passed Rosberg or Perez. Rosberg has passed Perez. So it seems in terms of Lewis Hamilton, I got one competitor less to harass me through this sector. I can actually drive in clean air without having to worry about anybody behind me. 17 seconds now. It seems like Sebastian Vettel's tires are going off. Onto the old straight once more. Should be from the other side for most race fans, of course. Can keep it into 6th now. The gravel is still wrecking around inside pots as I sneak a bit of grass here in the entry. Decent smooth exit. Treat fans on my lap time putts. More importantly, gained another wallop of time, or jumped off another time from Sebastian Vettel's lead. If there wasn't any doubt, here this is the pretty much I think the longest pit lane on the calendar almost. Or one of the anyway. To the new pit complex, 14 seconds, he's in the pits, pretty sure that, there you go, into first place. Mission success. Now, let's see how much I have gained with my earlier stop. Of course I know he has the option, so
Kimi is pitting now.
there's a good chance he's going to be able to gain on me quite quickly. As I set another personal best, sector 1 there. Go a bit wide, touch the marbles a little bit. 9 seconds is the gap to Sebastian Vettel. A decent margin, but I know I need to keep it up. And it looks like, very faintly, the sky is actually clearing up a little bit. Which would even be even better for me, since the car would really start working for me again. But of course with the reduced fuel, there you go. I'm only much happier with the way it handles. half a second on my previous lap, and actually a purple sector, so
We currently
it
have a
actually
10-second
gained
gap
on
to cover
Vettel
line.
on the
Pushing.
on his opening lap. So that was a surprise to see,
You're coming up on a group of
a very
slow-moving
pleasant
cars.
surprise to see,
Try
and
to
actually you
pass them
can
quickly.
definitely see a bit of blue sky now on the left side as I improve the fastest lap a little bit more to 1:33.311. More importantly, what is the gap? Sebastian, 10.3, so he hasn't gained on me much in that sector, but I got some back markers to deal with now. But they got them on the straight, so hopefully they get out of the way. And it shouldn't bother me too much. They all go aside, Sutil, Chilton I think that was. And the Dutchman in the Caterham. There you go. The sun has come out. And I passed the back marker, and Sebastian Vettel is now 12 seconds behind, which means I've got the pace on him.
Should let you pass.
And that's pretty much it, by the looks of it. I can go slightly quicker than Sebastian Vettel. The sun is back, it's making my car work for me. Maybe it's a lighter fuel load, makes the setup work a lot better. As I'm now more or less, only thing is doing is passing back markers as the gap slowly extends. Here's Max Chilton. Gap goes up and down a little bit, but so far hovering at 12 seconds. Lewis Hamilton's 7 odd seconds behind Vettel, so if I can pretty much keep it clean, it seems pretty much podium secure. That was Gutierrez, by the way, quick overtake. So here we are, lap 51, going into the final lap. 14 seconds is now the gap. So the only thing I need to do is bring it home. I can take it slow. Don't have to take any risks now on this final lap. And I actually end up braking a little bit late, going a bit wide, collecting a few marbles. 14.6, actually still gained something on Sebastian as well in that last sector before the start of the last lap. 9 seconds. Hamilton also not be able to keep up with Vettel. So I'm glad the sun came back out. I'm glad it stayed dry, actually. Now in the wet weather practice I was actually half a second up on the next man, so I wasn't displeased about that at all. 14 seconds, that's all. Gains on me a little bit. I don't really care at this point, have to shift down to 5th. Just not taking many risks, just and you've got plenty of time to spare. Bring it on to the final straight. Avoid my little curse for the last time out. Half a second slower than my previous lap. But I'm not worried. I'm already well aware. I've got the win in my pocket. Final chicane. Take the curbs nicely. Go a bit wide on the second one. Just keeping it smooth, just doing it slow. Victory on the flag, and another win for Lotus. And my second win in a row. I think it's my 3rd win in this season. There you go, there was the number 4 by the way, the detail that I added. And here we are.
Brilliant, that's the double. Pole and the win.
Sebastian Vettel cut me up to 12 seconds. But he is in 2nd place. Behind him Lewis Hamilton, Felipe Massa 4th, and Nico Rosberg 5th, Sergio Perez 6th, Fernando Alonso dropped back down to 7th. So that will hurt him a little bit in the championship. Here I was wondering a little bit what tyres Vettel was on, so he was on the options for the final stint, because I was wondering why I was quicker than him. Kimi is in 9th, Nico Hülkenberg picks up a point again for Sauber, and it's Jensen just outside the points, Gutierrez behind him, 12th, good result for him. Jean-Eric Verne, Paul Di Resta, Adrian Sutil, Daniel Ricciardo all a lap down. Of course, Valtteri Bottas a lap down. Then we're gonna get the back marker, guys. Sil Bianchi 2 laps, Guido 2 laps, Charles Pic of course 2 laps down, and Pastor Maldonado actually 3 laps down alongside with Max Chilton. So Pastor had a bit of a moment there probably, since he dropped quite a bit back. So here I wanted to see the start. Since it was actually quite a nice one, or a decent start. Very smooth from my part. Go to the inside to defend from Rosberg and Hamilton. I mean, he's already next to me, but he slows down, and I go right around the outside. And then Alonso sneaks through as well here at this point. Let's see how Massa made such a nice pace forward, but I can't quite catch it. He's the second Ferrari, of course. No, and the angles don't really work for me. It seems the other guys upset them a little bit, and Massa does get the drive. So here you go.
Fantastic result. 2 in a row.
Increasing the lead a little bit. 28 points now, so I can fail a race and I'll still be in the lead. Lewis Hamilton is 28 points behind. Then in third, Sebastian Vettel, and Alonso now with 99 points, 46 points behind me. Kimi Räikkönen still in sixth with 55 points, 90 points behind myself. So here we go. You see the rest of the people who have points. Even Daniel Ricciardo picked a point for Toro Rosso. So we've got 15 people with points now today. There you go. And there, of course, the backmarker guys. Charles Pic leading those guys around. And Lotus doing well in the constructors. 12 points ahead of Red Bull Racing. But that fight will surely be close till the end. But there you go. That's another win. Next time out we'll be visiting Germany, where already seen I'm gonna have to qualify in the wet. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.